This is the Sunday in November. And what that means is that the paraliminal that we're playing with on Sundays this month is Youthful Vitality. Now, this particular paraliminal is the one that I invite you to listen to when our session here is done, or listen to any other paraliminal with the intent that we establish here. Now, youthful vitality is your source for eternal youth, but I'm not talking about physical immortality here, although I did have some colleagues that were really into it. And there's a lot to be said. I mean, their idea is that death may be a grave mistake. But the notion that we could live with absolute flexibility and vitality and optimism and joy to the very last breath that we live in our lives, that's the goal. And there's a science that's actually built into the Youthful Vitality program. It's called the science of neotony, Neotony, neotony. It's the notion that there are the retention of juvenile characteristics into adulthood. Now, if you think rather than physical juvenile characteristics, think about mental and emotional, and what would those qualities be? Now, what happens in this particular paraliminal is unique in the line of paraliminals that I have. There are three voices here. To the left brain, the left hemisphere of the brain, you're getting a message in the right ear. And that's a step-by-step process of you taking a particular characteristic or trait that characterizes youthfulness and then embodying it through a step-by-step method. In the right ear, or in the left ear to the right brain, what you're receiving is an image, a metaphor of going to a place where there is a bubbling natural hot spring coming out of a hillside into a pool on a beach. And there's actually a place in California where that image is inspired by. It's a place I've been on many occasions. It's absolutely magical. And the voice that's in the middle is going through each one of the characteristics. Now, in the image of being in this hot mineral spring, there's a line of children who come by and place a candle in the area surrounding you. And each one of these children represent one of the youthful characteristics, one of the characteristics of highly youthful people. And let me read the list of each of those. During the paraliminal, in that center voice, each characteristic is explained and expanded upon. And my invitation to you, especially as we think about listening for the month, like every Sunday you'll listen to this particular paraliminal, the notion is if you could focus on a single attribute or characteristic over this coming week, over the next 7 days, which one would be most facilitating of goals that you're desiring to accomplish in your life? So here's the list. The spirit of youthfulness in humans is characterized by the qualities of a thirst for knowledge, curiosity, inquisitiveness, imagination, creativity, open-mindedness, spontaneity, enthusiasm, the need to love and be loved, a sense of humor, playfulness, joy, optimism, honesty, resilience, and flexibility. Now, if you think about that list, and this list is in the case card or in the manual that comes along with the Paraliminal, if you think of that list of traits and you think about what you have coming up for you in the week ahead, which of these would really be assistive? For example, I'm working on the development of a new Paraliminal. So the characteristic that is essential for me is this inquisitiveness to explore the nuances of this particular message that I'll be delivering to your non-conscious mind, to really understand the world of literature that's on it, the types of practices that I've encountered about it over the last 45 years, and to really build that understanding deeply into my non-conscious mind so that as I begin writing, that can flow through me into the script that I create for the Paraliminal. Now, for you, it might be a sense of joy, a sense of optimism. You know, when there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stresses in society, there's a lot of issues coming up. It's November. We're moving in the northern hemisphere into the winter months. Down in the southern hemisphere, you're moving into the springtime. So what is it that's being triggered for you? You know, is it the holidays are approaching and you're going to really need to have an optimistic view of what it's going to be like in the new normal of our society? Whatever it may be, my invitation to you is to think about that, and as you listen to this particular Paraliminal, really allow yourself to embody that, knowing that your entire surrounding is being illuminated by all of these positive, youthful traits and characteristics. Now, each and every one of these characteristics that I've mentioned are natural to a child. And they really do characterize what it's like for a child to go out into the world. You may know that I have some grandchildren, and it's absolutely delightful to see the 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old minds really getting into what the world is all about. When I was teaching accelerative learning for faculty development at a college in Wisconsin, my kids came along with me. My wife stayed in that town with kids and explored around. And my youngest, at that time, 6 years old, decided that he would come with me on the final day when all these professors were going to teach their college classes to model the techniques of accelerated learning. And I was delighted to report to them what my 6-year-old said when he came back from an entire day of college classrooms. He said to me, "Dad, college is really fun." Isn't that great? What if we could maintain that sort of view about heading into the next challenge, into the next big adventure of our lives? Compare that to a neighbor I have who's 95 and very effective at living his life independently in his own home at age 95. And do you know that he still plans the cutting of his geraniums so he can grow them for the coming spring? Isn't that sweet? This idea that in many areas of his thinking, he may be a little bit rigid about stuff. It's to his benefit. But when it comes to optimism and joy, these are what he absolutely immerses himself in. one of the very important qualities that science is now discovering, what the ancients have talked about, this idea of looking at the world and seeing it with awe, a sense of wonder, and to really be open to having the wonder of this magnificent life that you live coming fully into fruition on this day. Have a lovely time listening to Youthful Vitality. I'll see you tomorrow for our next session in this Paraliminal Monthly. Bye for now.